All right, real quick look at the wiring. Got a couple of terminal blocks here with a couple positive lines and several negatives. Now, if you look, we added these nice little wooden blocks to tie into and make it a little nicer, cleaner setup than I did on the last boat. But it runs all the way up to the nose for the bow light, and all the way to the back for the stern light. There's not really much to these. There's a stern light and a bilge pump, but I've got them even down in there. But on the next boat, down in that hole, I think we're going to use some PVC tubing, and then rather than try to get my hands down in there to put the wire ties in, we'll just run the wires through a tube. But each of the things has a red and black wire. Mounted the horn to the inside this time. Separated those out. Got a red and black wire for it. Put a couple fusible links on the two positives that run to the switch block. Left these open to remind myself that there's no fuse in them. Just run them nice and neat along there. I still have to sort this out a little bit. I think I might cut a little bit of this off and shorten them up, maybe, but we'll see. A little, maybe might be too much length here, but these are just little spade bits on the end. But one's for the horn, and I got one set up with the power wire running both to the front and the back and to the switch for the lights, and one for the horn. So one of these power wires goes to the back of these, which is for the power outlets on the switch panel, and the other one comes around for the switches. So I just plug these in to the switches, and that switch was the horn, and the other two, one will be the bilge pump, and one will be the lights. Now, as far as the bilge pump wires, they of course they're the only ones I really got color coded. Get the brown wire, and that'll go to the whatever switch I designate for the bilge pump. But I've also got another brown wire which will hook up to the one of the brown wires that comes off of the bilge pump, which will be the wire for the float switch. And I've got two ways I can hook this up. I can either hook it up directly to the battery, which would make that float switch live all the time, or run it up here to this terminal block, in which case it will be live as long as I have power turned on from the shut-off switch that would go from the battery to these terminal blocks, because I'm going to have the two battery wires running back to the back side of the cockpit. Just above the battery, there'll be a shut-off switch where I can turn the battery, basically power from the battery, on and off. And so I can either run this wire up to there or directly to the battery. I'm probably going to go directly to the battery. I haven't decided yet, so I haven't finished this up yet. But yeah, I think I'm going to shorten a couple of these up to make that a little cleaner. And then the only thing I really got to do here is Cut a hole for my steering line, cut out my hatch, run my steering, scored a little sealant around the bow light and the stern light, and I think that'll be it before I can start lowering it. Oh yeah, cut a hole up here, up in here for where the fuel tank fill goes. I've got to measure out where that's going to go, because I moved the tank from the last one. I moved it all the way forward, as far forward as I can get it, in order to help it plane. Because I guess the last one took a little while to plane, and the best way to get it to plane better is move that tank forward. And yeah, it's coming together. Like I said, I need to run the battery cables, the steering cable, and cut a couple holes, and we'll be ready to get this deck on there. But putting these pull blocks here, or not the pull blocks, but the mounting blocks and the zip ties, definitely makes this all a lot neater. Not including this jumbo of things here, but I imagine each time I do this will end up getting neater. I mean, it actually looks better than the last time I did it. But what I'm thinking about doing, instead of having this up here in the middle, I might actually move it down here, and that'll actually be a little less wear. Because the first one we put these terminal blocks on the back side of the dash. Now that kind of limits what you can, like, if you wanted to put a radio in there or something, that kind of limits that. So I put this block here, but I'm thinking maybe go ahead and put this block down here, and that would shorten up my runs I got to go through, and maybe I'll be able to tighten this up and make it look a little neater. But yeah, she's coming along, and it won't be long. Yeah, I want to try to finish this up this week, get it out before Thanksgiving. All right, thanks for watching. See you all again later.